Good morning, all. Hope you're doing well. Sorry the bulletin's late. I had a bit of a broken sleep, but not to worry too much on that. Now, the thing is with the technicals is that we reset it just before 8 o'clock and we reset it at 61 and now we're at 53. So we're dipping slightly on the technical scores with a value of -8. Now, the reason for that is I think it's because of the FTSE. We're down, and also the CAC 40, the France index, is also down, and because of that, we're having a little bit of a knock on the technical scores. Sentimentally, we're risk on. We've got nearly 12 people selling indices versus the one person buying. So there's a lot of bears left, but I'd imagine if we keep going higher, we're going to have to see less bears. So this is going to obviously change, and I think perhaps on DAX, I think on the S&P, we're not seeing more bulls, we're seeing less bears because they got stopped out. So it's cruel, but it's trading. You need two sides to the equation. You need the bulls need the bears, and the bears need the bulls. So fairly mixed here, so much as that we're risk on sentimentally, but we're dipping slightly on the technicals. Also, another thing of note is the fact that the QDB scores, we should be seeing green here, here, and we should be seeing red here, right? Because these have got poor scores. They're measured against its pivots, its daily open, its weekly open, and it's also used in the sentiment shifting on a dynamic level and at a static level. So it's a very powerful document, very powerful sheet, tab. So it measures multiple technical and sentimental criteria, but yeah, they're getting paid slightly here and they're getting paid slightly here as well. So we should be seeing reversals. Pound yen, for example, should be going up higher because it's got a good score. It's got 11 out of 14. And our robots, what's happened is that we're opening up pound CAD trades, multiple pound CAD trades, because it's having a tug of war between pound CAD and pound Kiwi. So currently it's going to keep opening trades until a victor emerges. So ideally, we don't keep seeing this tug of war and one emerges as a winner. Otherwise, we're just going to get multiple trades opening on that one. And the reason for it's triggering that as opposed to that is because it's got a better score. Okay, so it's favouring pound CAD longs over pound Kiwi. It's got a better score, right? So that's the logic. I'll show you the robot. Bring that over, and if it lets me load it. Right, so it's like I say, pound CAD, multiple pound CAD trades, and now we don't want that to dip. If it does fall, it means that the herd are going to get paid. So that's the logic. Okay, it's got a good score in the QDB scores. They've gone long. Sorry, they sold it, so hence that's why we got the buy. And so if it does fall and it gets to a stop, then it just means that the herd got really paid on pound CAD. And that's why we kind of want to be testing still. And also, if you're thinking about going live on the robot, don't do it this week because we've got the Fed, ECB, and BOJ this week. So it's a bad week to be doing live trades with the robot. Wait for next week. Okay, and just keep an eye on pound CAD. It should be coming up higher. And ideally, we get a winner that emerges between pound CAD and pound Kiwi. All right, so unfortunately, we're going to keep seeing tug of war. And remember, we had a good week last week, so ideally, we don't see those pound CAD trades resulting in losses, and it's going to erase last week's gains. That would be annoying. We're sideways in US 30, so there isn't anything to be said, but note that we're strongly positive. And it looks like we're going to probably break 35,000 if we break this support. And the reason for that is that they had gone, no, they sold it here. See how they sold it quite heavily? So therefore it became a support. So we see a breach of 35,068. We're probably going to breach 35,000. And then by doing so, we'll breach this bottom channel. I don't know if I can draw it on here. Basically something like this. I know admittedly it hasn't got many respects of the channel, but you know, you could probably argue 3 is here. Yeah, that's fine. maybe a fourth, a bit dodgy one there. So a break of that, going to get interesting, this box here, and the fact that they sold it. So that's why it was for support. US 500, and they had gone long, or maybe perhaps you could say less short. Ah, they sold it, so that's fair enough. I said in Discord that they probably would, and that's, look what's happened. They love to sell it. We're going to get the buy. Once we get the crossover, we'll have to create a box, and then therefore it'll be a support. So they are selling it. I mean, it's funny, after studying this for so many years, you kind of know what the herd are going to do, and it was obvious that they were going to sell it. So there's four. This is going to come up. Why? Because they sold it. It needs to uh, meet that exchange. So if they sell it, someone has to buy it, and the person buying it has got larger pockets than the average retail trader, right? So that's interesting. I thought that might happen, and DAX, and then we'll have to see what happens with the robot today. Oh, excuse me. Uh, Hopefully it doesn't keep doing the tug of war, but we're sideways on DAX, and we're just choppy and very, very nasty. You want to be ideally waiting for something like this, where you've got a nice move, strong move from upside, therefore you get the buy, but we're just kind of just going sideways. It's unlikely we're going to see a strong move because, the sentiment is just sideways. Gold, gold, and then we're done for the day. And so yeah, well, okay, so they sold it, so therefore it's now a buy, and so this is going to be a support here. Yeah, this is going to be a support, 1961 to 1957. So let's draw that box, and it's a good time to exit short. If you entered up here, that might be a good time because we have just made the buy. And so things are very quickly to change. So I did the analysis about 20 minutes ago, and obviously this has happened since, right? So therefore this is now support. Look for sales below 1957 potentially, and that's it. So remember to trade safely, and that's, yeah. So just and also this is misbehaving, so we will need to keep an eye on that. The failure rate is poor. Also, probably worth noting, the yen maybe, because it was over here earlier, another buy in the yen, and if they continue to buy it, it's going to be back in this box again. So that's of note, and there's nothing in the strong buy section. So be careful, trade safely. Remember the robot, it might be like a poor week because of the risk events from the central banks. So don't go live this week. Perhaps if look at this week, see how we do. I've got a feeling it's going to be a negative week, but we'll have to wait and see, and just remember to trade safely, and I'll speak to you guys soon.